Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast for the recently deceased. I'm Nate Roberts. I'm doing good. Sorry everyone for the week long or 2 week long hiatus. I was sick last week. The upside is I got to watch about I don't know. I think I watched 20 movies in the last 2 weeks. And as the podcast likes to keep up to date on everything new, and I was sick and had already seen this week's movies, I watched a ton of old stuff. So I caught up on some stuff that's on everybody's list that I just somehow never saw, like Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, The Collector. No, I had never seen it before. Yeah, The Collector, which I thought was very good. There's some more on there, but I watched so much and I don't want to bore you with the details. How about you, Rodney? Up.
Halloween 3, she hadn't seen it.
Damn it. God damn it. You were muted. All
Am I
right.
there now?
You are now, but you want to start over? Because there. Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
let's start over.
you had no dialogue. You had no dialogue. We'll fix it in post. You just got to listen to me talk. Just start. No, you did. So just start over with what I said, or start over with what you just said.
Okay.
Okay.
So we had just watched Barbarian. I had seen it for the second time here now, and the
Yes.
missus didn't get a chance to see it. So as a non-horror person, she was into the way that it kind of blended genres or kept you on your toes, not knowing what was happening next, changing movies practically after the first act and becoming something else, and by the end, the conclusion, how bonkers it gets. She really did appreciate that, and had fun, which is a good thing to bring people into the fold. It's like there's definitely some high notes to it that are horror related, but I think it's welcoming enough to convince people to get into the genre for real. We rewatched Halloween 3 as well. I'd seen it before she hadn't. That was fun. Um, and then I don't think we put the monsters on for trick or treaters in the window on the projector, and obviously no sound because that ruins the movie. So, but it was cool visuals.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The biggest thing I'd highlight, the takeaway for Halloween for me, is that the kids that there's so I would say over 50% of the kids that came to the door just stared at me when I opened the door and just looked at me and held out their bag or whatever. And I had to prompt them, what do you say?
Oh man, they didn't say trick or treat.
No, over half of them didn't, and you had to say it. So guess what? I separated the candy and I kept the Musketeers and the Midnight Milky Ways in one side,
Yeah.
Snickers and Twix in the other, and I would take the shitty fun size and give them like one piece because fuck them.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Did
but
they say thank
I'm
you?
not a fan of that.
Did they say thank you?
Every now and then, less than 50% probably. It was bullshit.
Wow, that's crazy. You know,
Yeah.
you can't blame the kids. You got to blame the parents. Their parents probably don't watch horror movies. If they did, their kids would know to say trick or fucking treat, and they would be grateful for that shit. Um, they're probably all these fake Christian parents.
Who knows what it
Who
was? I mean,
knows?
it was disappointing. It was disheartening, to say the least, because I grew up and I loved it. I always no one had like a handmade costume. Everyone, for the most part, was like store-bought stuff, and
Sure. Fucking lame.
that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. All right. Well, tonight we're gonna start off.
Speaking of lame,
Speaking of lame, whoa, VHS 99. I believe this is the fourth in the franchise. VHS 2, VHS 94, and now VHS 99.
there's also VHS Viral.
Viral.
So
Is
maybe
that
number
is
five.
is that two, or is that
Oh, is
another
it?
one?
No, there's a VHS too.
There is a VHS
A
two.
part of our confusion is that we haven't either of us haven't seen any of the VHS sequels aside from
Yeah,
after the first one. We
we,
watched the first one and then we never watched any of the sequels.
oh,
So shame on us.
there's a lot according to IMDb. There's like 10.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't matter. Okay. Uh, whatever. We watched VHS 99, and that's what's important. So
Yes.
important that I will over pronounce the word important. Okay. So, if you don't watch the show, we like to give you a quick little synopsis, wrap up, and a score based on how we feel about the movie.
Out of 10,
No
a score out of
spoilers.
10.
Out of
1 is
10.
awful, 10 is excellent.
Yes, 10 is if you don't own it, there's something wrong with you. Um, and afterward, we will get into a longer discussion full of spoilers. So after um, the short reviews, if you haven't seen the movie, or if you don't care, tune out and come back later.
As we get into this, realized I've gotten lazy. I haven't rated any of the movies that I've seen since I watched Bros on the 19th, like, which was shortly after watching Ends. So
Let's
I don't know what's wrong with me, but
let,
obviously something.
we can talk about Bros for 30 seconds. That movie was fucking excellent. You
Bros
know,
was a lot of fun.
we
It
don't
was a
do.
bit over the top, but
Yeah.
you gotta appreciate it for what it is. I mean, it's also troublesome because as much as he's on a soapbox and saying like, we need more attention, whatever. Like he is a white male. Even if he is gay, I think it's still like a privileged position, and so kind of that's just a hot take. I'm not offended or anything, but I think that's one of the arguments where it's like, okay, this is great, but there's other aspects of the LGBT plus community that would want more representation. This, for the most part, is two white men that are doing their thing. Even if they are gay, it's a little bit more of a already represented niche, I suppose. But the film was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. Some crazy stuff, but some entertaining stuff. I didn't cry, but it was cute by the end of it.
Yeah, I mean it was a great rom com, and it had a
Mhm.
big ending the way rom coms do. Like it was true to form. If I had a complaint, I would say that the main character was a little long winded at times. He really liked
Sure.
his monologues, or going off of these little diatribes, and they could have been shortened down into quicker, maybe punchier jokes. Although I
Yeah,
also
he was very intelligent and
yeah, I
always
also
was communicating his
yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah. I also get, as you just said, that that is part of that character's character, and they were
Right.
really just driving it home all the time, and that's fine. Like I said, it's my one complaint, and it's a little nitpicky. Um,
Yeah,
it's it's a
they
it's a
went to
comp-
Provincetown, which I'd never been to Provincetown except we went on my honeymoon because we were in Cape Cod, and so we drove up to Provincetown. So the fact that was in the movie, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I know this place. It's a super gay haven, and it's awesome." So that was exciting for me.
I can see why. uh,
But some of the gay sex scenes, I was like, "Is this what gay dudes do? Like this hookups? Like the?" I was like, "Man, it's a." I wish that I had the persuasion because it looks like it'd be fun as fuck.
I I assume that some of that is true to form,
Oh, he went into a
and
disservice. That's got to be.
and it was hilarious. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he took it from a comedic angle because of how his character reacts to it, because his character wasn't
Hmm.
into all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, if you
Yeah.
haven't seen Bros,
I
go
don't
see
have the body for
Bros.
it.
If you haven't seen Bros, go see Bros. That's our hot take before we get into this horror movie. Um,
Do the reading, my
yeah, all
brother,
right, here we go.
from the
Witness.
Book of Paul.
VHS 99. Witness, a hellish vision of 1999, a social isolation, analog technology, and disturbing home videos fuse into a nightmare of found footage savagery. Savagery.
Savagery.
Savagery.
Savagery. A hellish vision. So yeah, I mean, it's another VHS, everyone. Um
It was
I
okay.
was excited because of the Winters being attached to this. After
Mm,
having seen Deadstream, I was pumped to watch this
yeah.
for their segment. The other, and by the end of it, to be honest, it was the only one that I was really into. There was parts of Ozzy's Dungeon that I liked, but as a whole, I didn't care for it. You know?
Right. So okay. So let's just I'm just gonna give do a quick overall, and then we can
Sure.
do
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
in the spoiler part. We'll talk about each story. All right.
Oh, we're gonna do what we said. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just do that. VHS 99. It has its ups and its downs. It has its moments of comedy with its moments of I wouldn't even say horror or jump scares. It was pretty lackluster on the horror front. The some of the practical effects were good. Um, Overall, the stories were bad on average. I did enjoy two of them, maybe, and kind of a third one, and we'll get more into that later. Overall, VHS 99, it's a pass, 4 out of 10.
Ooh, 4 out of 10. That's harsh. I was gonna land at a 5 with it because I think it's very average, and really at what it is trying to do, I think it's doing it fine. I just am not interested in a lot of what it's doing. So I'm gonna land at a 5. But I agree everything that you said. It's like you have to be into it. You have to be like analog. You have to like found footage. You have to like VHS quality visuals, and you have to like short, abbreviated, bad storytelling. It's like little vignettes that look almost like I don't mean to be a dick to the filmmakers because I know that they work hard to make their films, but it's like, okay, this is like high school, college level type work. The acting a lot of times is, and the story and the visuals kind of are too, where it's just like, okay, what else is here? There's not a whole house out there. So it's to your point, it's a letdown. So I'm gonna land out of 5.
All right, so let's go story by story. We'll start with the first one. This is fucking terrible. What a horrible way to start your movie. If I wasn't
Oh
doing this,
yeah,
if I wasn't doing this for the podcast, I would have turned it off. This is a okay. I don't.
shredding.
Yeah. I don't know if you know about how comedians perform live. This is what I did when I was living in New York City. You start with your B material, you put your C material in the middle, and you end with your A material. So if you're calling Shredder your C material because it was definitely the worst of these shorts, it should have been in the middle.
Right,
So that was
not the opener.
a huge whiff on your first video there.
Yeah, I mean, the story is neat enough, and the practical effects are cool, but yeah, there's. I think that the teens are annoying, and yeah, there's not much.
No,
That's the
it
thing about
was
these
terrible.
stories. You can describe them in like 10 seconds. Kids go to uh warehouse where a show was performed and the band died in the fire and everyone trampling and trying to get out. And then they go back to do a show and they try to scare a kid and oh, guess what? They're real and they seek revenge on the people that are coming to disturb them. So it's like okay, that's very thin and uh because like that's the thing I don't understand that frustrates me about all of these stories in general. It's such a basic premise. They don't get into anything really. It's like, what's the purpose of doing these things? It's just to showcase some talent with practical and maybe visuals. And uh, this one
Yeah,
was a miss, I
uh,
think, for sure.
yeah. I would say that the first story definitely was to showcase the practical effects and nothing else. Like they're like we
Yeah.
have whoever was behind that story was more into that portion of the film or the short film, and they were like, we really want to just show this off, and this is the story we wrote to do that.
Yeah, but so that's the thing. Like, That's the same thing that is going on in Terrifier and Terrifier 2. Like, it's just a practical effects showcase, and so there's definitely a an upside or a somewhere to go by just doing that. Like, this can turn into something more. Um, it's a weird thing. I mean, let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, all right,
I
all
don't even
right.
remember what was the next one.
The one
Oh, the
it's
suicide bid,
it's
right?
on it's on right behind you. And this was the one I this is the one I half liked. So uh, this one was fun. I liked, for
Yes.
the most part, the story, the acting. Like this main girl who's stuck in the coffin right now, she's pretty good.
Hmm.
I liked the reveal at the end. The climax was good. Um, how they all got locked in
It was
their own.
just too over the top. Yeah, it was just like they didn't react very well. It's kind of
Yeah,
like you woke up in a coffin and you're kind of like chill about it, and then a monster appears and then you freak out. So
yeah.
it's like kind of like, all right, it's like you know what's gonna happen and you just have to wait for it to get
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You're like, oh, I knew this was gonna happen because I did this to that girl. Like there was this is normal.
Hmm.
The revenge was coming. Um, yeah. So the third one now. I think this one was my favorite. This was the game show.
Ozzy's Dungeon.
This is Game Show's Revenge. Yeah, Ozzy's Dungeon. Practical effects, loved it. Story, loved it. Acting, loved it. The fucking reveal at the end, with the thing they're worshiping at the end of the cave, loved everything about it. Easily, in my opinion, the best of the shorts here.
I mean, it could have been that I was like getting a little bit tired during this one, and like I was like fading, to be honest, at the time, and so like I think I definitely dozed for a second and missed like how they got to that final conclusion cave and what the
Oh,
point of
sure.
all that was, to be honest. Like I remember the game show and that was neat, and then they get the host, uh, but then I don't know why the thing was there at the end. This giant like
Okay.
blob type
Well,
creature.
do you want to know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So,
Spoiler alert. Yeah, remind
so
me. Is
yeah.
like why are they there? Like it's
So Ozzy's Dungeon was never won by a contestant, but
right,
when you win, you get a wish granted, which is like, that's not real.
right. It's a
But this creature grants wishes. So
yeah.
so they're about to kill that game show host in her basement, and he's like, wait.
Hmm.
If you let me go, I'll take you to Ozzy, right, or whatever he's called.
Right.
And they bring her down in there, and they give her her wish, right? And when she gets there,
Hmm.
she can walk again, she or whatever, and then she gets up there and she whispers into her ear, and then and then everybody dies. So like you can assume that she wished for some kind of end of world event or cataclysmic event because she was
Yeah.
so depressed, um, and like, or she just wanted them all dead because the thing definitely kills her mother as well as the game show
Really?
host.
So
Yeah.
okay. So maybe yeah. I don't get that, but okay.
Yeah. No, it was really good.
It was fun. It was fun as shit. Like the host was excellent.
Yeah.
He's been a character actor in a few things. He's very good. In the game show, you're like thinking of Double Dare or
Yeah, Double
fucking
Dare. Yeah.
Legends of the Hidden Temple
Right.
or Nickelodeon Arcade. Like it had all of the
Yeah.
vibes of that,
And he's
and it was
go.
fun.
I love it when he's in
And
her.
then the kid just breaks the leg. It was
Yeah.
entertaining. It was
It
unexpected.
was
It's
very
like, oh my god!
unexpected.
And then
He's
they're
like,
like, okay, let's get a medic.
yeah. You signed the waiver. But
Yeah, sorry.
but you're in her basement, and he's got to go through
Yeah, I know.
the
Yeah,
obstacle course she made for him, and it's fucking disgusting. And
I know.
it was so good. It was so good. Uh,
Yeah.
all right, fourth story. You're gonna have to fill in the blank on this one. Was it the suicide already,
Uh,
or was it not? No,
the
that was
Gawkers.
that Gawkers?
The Gawkers, yeah, Gawkers. Fuck, I don't even remember this one.
This one was
Gawkers,
this one
Gawkers.
was this one was terrible. They were spying on the girl across the street.
Oh
She
yeah, right.
yeah.
The Medusa.
She comes in. She turns
Right,
into a
Medusa.
Medusa. Yeah, yeah. Just lame.
Yeah,
Like
this was annoying because this is like prepubescent
yeah.
or pubescent teens that are like getting their rocks off by having a hidden camera on the hot neighbor
Right.
and trying to look at her, peeping tom type stuff, but they're like, spliced with other random stuff. Just the most annoying age that young white boys are, then
Yeah.
fucking that seem to be in an affluent area. It just adds to the annoyance of it. Uh and then it just like they just fall apart because of a weird fucking Medusa creature that doesn't really have any rules. Like it was Medusa, but then it wasn't. It's like hopping around, it's hearing things.
Yeah.
I couldn't follow the rules of its character and the monster and why it did what it did. It just kind of was there.
Yeah. Not to mention it was bad CG instead of practical. And the whole movie's practical
Right.
up to this point, and I just wasn't into the story leading up to the reveal. The reveal was pretty flat.
Yeah.
Okay, fifth story. This was probably your favorite, but my second favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my
Um,
favorite.
yeah, this was the Joseph, Joshua, and Vanessa.
Yeah.
Right,
Joseph and Vanessa
Joseph and
Winters.
Vanessa.
Yeah.
So these guys did
What was this one
Deadstream.
called? This one was, yeah.
To
What
hell
was
to
this
to
one
hell and
called?
back.
Yes.
To hell and back.
So, yeah, this one I thought was very good.
This
It
one,
has it has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
this one has the
It's very
best. Has the
clearly defined.
Yeah, this one definitely has the best story of the
Right.
six.
It has a mood. It's consistent in the visuals. Now, it's clearly the filmmakers did Deadstream. I don't know the order in which things were shot and made. I would imagine that they had already bagged Deadstream, and then this was like a little additional add-on that they got to do between its release and this one. But so like there's if you've seen Deadstream, like you see a lot of the same kind of like camera work, the way that he runs the camera because he's doing it the same kind of way. He's the videographer of this To Hell and
Right.
Back event that they're doing, where the guys are watching a seance where they're kind of trying to bring a demon into this woman's body, right?
Right, right. And that
Uh,
they've been
through the
hired.
witch's book.
Yeah, they've been hired to be the videographers, but they didn't realize that they were going to be the sacrifice. And in this,
Well, right, but like it was an accident, right? Like because like a demon shows up that's like entering. It's like the veil to the realm is like weakened, and this monster entity. It's like they don't explain it, and like they just gotta do it real quick. It
yeah,
shows up and like, oh, it's such and such, and they start doing something, and then they like cast a spell to get rid of it, but they go with it.
right, right. And now they're stuck in this hell dimension, where they meet this really interesting character,
Mabel.
Mabel, played by the girl who played the ghost in Deadstream, who was great in Deadstream,
Hmm.
and she was also great in this. Um, what do they call her? Was she Mabel of the something about Tiny Skullbiter? Was her was
Oh
her
yeah, yeah, yeah.
name?
Well, there's all kinds of cool things like and so like I mean, Joseph Winters does like this funny thing where he passes that little demon baby and it's got like a little trident. I don't know if you heard it whenever he said it, but he gets up there and he's like, uh, what's it? I think he gets up close and he goes to grab it and then he grabs it and he runs away. He goes snatch and he like runs just like how he was doing like whenever he would say shit on accident during
Right,
Deadstream
right,
and he would give
right.
himself a strike. It
Yeah,
had that same kind of like comic timing where he did it and he said like a cool little thing behind the camera that you pick up.
yeah,
Just like fun little things like that made this film much more memorable and entertaining. The things that they did, it was more lighthearted and fun. And it just had a good consistent story and the way that it was shot. It was in a linear fashion where it wasn't so, I don't know. All the other ones kind of break up and have weird visuals. Ozzy's Dungeon doesn't, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
This one was like one setting, inside the house, down in hell, journey in hell, to the final conclusion back on
Right.
Earth in this living room.
I love it. I
And
love
it
how
just
that
looked good the whole way.
they struggle so hard to get through hell, and then as soon as they get back to Earth, the people performing the seance just start to kill them. Like just they just start attacking
Right.
them as soon as they come through the gate.
Well, because like now they're the one guy is in the girl's body now, right? His friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was good.
So it was yeah, it was nice. I heard Mabel was excellent.
Yeah.
So
Then there was one more, I believe.
no, that was the last one.
That was the last one. That didn't
Yeah, that
wrap
was the
up.
last one.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no, that's all of them.
All
And
right.
so like it's like that's the thing. I think that these are good little vignettes to showcase a writing or filmmaking, but you know, it's not my thing. Like I definitely made things like this with my friends in high school, not to this level of production, but you know, we would have a school assignment in English. We were reading, you know, The Crucible and The Scarlet Letter. And so instead of like writing a fucking report or whatever, we're doing a presentation. We just made a weird video. And this was right around the time Blair Witch came out. So we would mash up and do like Scarlet Letter, but shoot it in the style of the Blair Witch, where Hester Prynne's doing such and such in the woods, and we just had fun. And we would just, and it was just a camcorder. We would just record and then go back and then, you know, add it where we had to. And so like that's what this feels like in the spirit of. This feels like that kind of youthful energy of just ham-fisted kind of filmmaking with a little bit more editing technique, and where I think Helen Back finesses it and presents a tight package, the other ones don't do so as efficiently. Ozzy's Dungeon, I'll give it to you. It's definitely the second, and it does do a good bit of what you would want to see. But the
Yeah.
other ones just don't, and there's kind of like filler,
Yeah.
and it's not interesting, it's not engaging, and so I would much rather just watch those two as shorts, and the other
Yeah.
ones you could really go without.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. Hence the 4 out of 10. Just watch Ozzy's Dungeon and To Hell and Back, and you'll be totally fine. Also, check out Deadstream if you haven't seen it yet. And we reviewed it last week,
Oh, absolutely.
or 2 weeks ago now, so you should check that out too. Well, I think that wraps up our discussion of VHS 99. We are going to take a 30-second break and come right back with episode 15 of the podcast for the recently deceased. I'm Nate Roberts.
And I'm Rodney Godek. Take care.